Hello. Welcome back to Underrated Movies. I'm your guy, I'm your man, Mr. Alton Henry. And today I'm going to talk to you about another underrated film. It's another part of A24's underrated films that you don't really hear about or don't get enough attention. There are some that pretty much go under the radar you don't really hear about. I'm going to talk to you about the underrated, it's pretty decent mystery film currently available on HBO Max. Dark Places, starring Charlize Theron, Christina Hendricks, Nicholas Hoult, and Chloe Grace Moretz and Ty Sheridan. And it's a story about a family massacre that occurred in the 1980s, and a little girl, sole survivor, who eventually grows up to be Charlize Theron's character, who becomes very, I would say, her name was Libby Day, who becomes very traumatized by the event of that night, and I think it's called some sort of massacre. I forgot what they called it in the film. And a group of underground mystery investigators or private eyes that are really interested in Charlize Theron's story wants to kind of dive a little bit deep more into her case, because they believe that there were certain aspects about the case that didn't really add up, which involved her elder brother, who was blamed for the incident. But they believe, the investigators, Nicholas Hoult, believes that his brother, that Charlize Theron's brother in the film, could be innocent. And the movie kind of dives deep into learning about Charlize Theron's past, and she tries to steer away from it, but she's like, dang, if I really got to go through this, y'all got to pay me, because, that was some pretty dark stuff that I've endured. So, yeah, there's a lot of people that don't know much about her story, and they quickly judge her years later that, she's kind of the one to blame. And, you know how people are. They like to blame people on everything where they don't know the full story, which, in this case, when you watch the movie, you understand the full story behind it. It's pretty much a straightforward mystery film where it has some unique twists and turns here. I do have to say, when watching the film a little bit, it gets a little bit confusing, which is from present and then past. There's moments in there where the flashbacks are intertwined with the linear storytelling. Linear storytelling, where you have to okay, this is a flashback. Sometimes that gets a little bit too confusing a bit to kind of pick out which part of the story you're following. But eventually it gets a little bit easier when they reference, some of the characters of who they are and then what's happening in the film. Chloe Moretz, she is a force to be reckoned with in this film. She is Diamond. She plays a ex-girlfriend of Ty Sheridan's character. His girlfriend in the film, Ty Sheridan's character, who grows up to be, what's that actor's name? I think that actor's name might be Sheen Bridges. He's a pretty good actor. I've seen him. He played the villain in the first Ant-Man. That guy's underrated. Really good actor. He plays the older brother, and he's also telling Charlize Theron that you kind of may not want to dive too deep into this. But I am letting you know I'm kind of innocent. I'm not really responsible for what happened, even though I kind of already am. He's not really the direct source of what happened with him and the family. But Chloe Martez, man, or Martez, Chloe Martez, she is, like I said, intimidating in this. And I don't want to dive too deep into this, and what I mean by the context of what happens into the story. It deals with a lot of, what's the word? Evil worship. And you're dealing with a lot of characters that are into that, and you see the influence it has on people and what it tries to do, and people who are so heavily involved in it tries to influence other people into joining the same thing. And it's actually quite scary the more you kind of watch it and the more you kind of go on. Christina Hendricks, she's great as the mother, and then you really feel for her character where she tries to raise her kids the right way. She's dealing with a dad who's pretty, her husband pretty much, who's a deadbeat abusive, and her kids are kind of diving into a path that's pretty much self-destructive, that she herself feels trapped and is not able to grasp a way out, and she's looking for a way out. She, like, Christina Hendricks plays this amazingly, and which is actually, I think, one of her best performances I've seen from her. But this is not the only film. I think she played a mother. I'm struggling. I think she played another mother in Lost River with Ryan Gosling. But Christina Hendricks, she's awesome in this. Now, I'm surprised how this film ends. It ends in a way that I don't expect from a mystery film, where I don't want to get too in detail into it. It ends in a way where the mystery is solved, but when you hope on for like the big bad guy to get vanquished, or something in the towards the end, I'm gonna tell you right now that doesn't necessarily happen. There's some interesting things that happen towards the end, but it's more about these characters overcoming their long tormented of grief and trying to move on with their lives. And it does end happily. I would say it does end happily. And honestly, Charlize Theron, she's an amazing actress. This film is a great film for anybody who is looking for a Charlize Theron film. And I gotta be honest, I don't think this film deserved to bomb. I mean, yeah, it is a lesser known A24 film. Doesn't hit the landmark compared to all the other ones that they've tried to branch out with their movies. No, by all means, it's not. But it's a pretty interesting mystery film that I think you should check out. If you do have HBO Max, I highly recommend you check it out. And I know Halloween season's over, but you know what? If you're still looking for a good mystery film, check this out, Dark Places. Dark Places, have you seen it? Comment below, let me know if you have, and let me know what is your favorite underrated movie.